Hey guys, my name is Tito. I make videos on personal finance on my other channel. On this channel, I talk about other things like today when I'll be reviewing the new short film on Zikoko's YouTube channel, What's Left of Us. When Aliyu finds out his wife isn't interested in bearing him more children, he kicks her out of their home in the middle of the night. But after some time passes, he pleads with her to return home. But when Mariam does, she wants to make some changes to their marriage so that she can have a life that isn't so dependent on her manipulative husband. What's Left of Us is directed by Victor Daniel and Olamide Adio, and it's produced by Blessing Uzzi, and its DOP is Muhammed Attah Ahmed. This review will contain spoilers because What's Left of Us is on YouTube and it's less than 30 minutes. So if you haven't checked it out, please go and check it out before watching this review. What's Left of Us, I believe, was screened at an event held by Zikoko or Big Cabal Media 2 weeks ago. I heard about it, I saw pictures, and I heard that people liked what they saw. So I think this is the first of 3 short films that are around sex and reproductive health, particularly as they pertain to women. I don't have all the details, but loosely I think that's what these 3 films are about. Let's dive into the performances of this first one, What's Left of Us. Caleb Richards plays Aliyu in this film. This very traditional, insensitive, and manipulative husband who is having an extramarital affair, but more importantly, he's bullying his wife or intimidating his wife. Essentially, he wants lots of kids. They have 2 currently, but he wants a big family. But his wife doesn't want that, so she's been taking birth control pills, but he finds the pills, and they have this huge argument. He sends her out of the house. He sends her packing in the middle of the night, but he, asks her to come back. And when she does, they have a couple of conversations about how she's not willing to have these plenty children that he wants. She's not willing to be a baby factory. That's the general gist. Coming back to Caleb's performance, brilliant, fantastic. He really sold that character of being this very insensitive husband who thinks that his wife's agency is non-existent or belongs to him. The character has made all these decisions, and he's bewildered. He's baffled by the fact that his wife doesn't want to bear him more children, and that she wants to have a job, and that she wants some level of autonomy. It just seems so foreign to him. And Caleb really sold that character, and it really made me wonder how they got to this point. Like when they were courting and in the early stages of their marriage, what were they talking about? And that's the real message of this film. Communication. Because if they had talked extensively about the kind of family and the kind of marriage they wanted, I don't know. I doubt if they would have found themselves in the situation that they found themselves in this film. Unless maybe Mariam agreed to it back then, but she changed her mind through the years. That is possible. Speaking of Mariam, Tolu Asanu, fantastic performance as well. It's interesting to see how the character evolved in such a short time, in those 27 minutes of the film. When we meet her, she seems a bit like a quiet, very submissive wife. But after Aliyu sends her packing and she's had time to think about what has happened and think about her life and what she wants, she seems to have found her voice, and she comes back to the home, to their marital home, a bit more empowered. She's really speaking up and speaking against her husband, and he's taking it too, surprisingly. But the performance by Tolu Asanu was fantastic. Never heard of her before, never seen her in anything, but I look forward to seeing her in more things. What I liked. First of all, I liked the lighting. That's the first thing I noticed. Particularly in that scene where Aliyu meets with his mistress Fatima in that restaurant or cafe. The lighting in that scene was fantastic. I also liked the cinematography. That was a very nice shot, but the one that I liked the most was when they go to the mosque to see the Malam for some counseling, right? I like how we never even get to see the Malam. We don't see his face. The shot is just from the back, and you have Aliyu on one side and Mariam on the other side. That was a fantastic composition. Cinematography generally in that film was really good. Shout out to the final 7 minutes where they go to handheld cameras, and they have this shaky effect. That built up on the tension in that scene where Aliyu and Mariam are having an argument. The shaky cam made it more tense. I also liked in the kitchen when they have the argument and Mariam says a lot and there's silence. They don't just end the scene there. Mariam goes on to dish the food, and she grabs water, puts it on a tray, and she exits. That let the tension build, and that just aided the acting and the storytelling. Because typically, the characters or the actors will say what they have to say, then they cut and then they go to the dining room. But I like how they extended it with her finishing, serving that food and going to the fridge and all that. Fantastic. What else did I like? The storytelling. Yeah, storytelling was quite good. They packed a lot in those 27 minutes. I wonder what it would have looked like if it was a full 90-minute or 2-hour film. But they tell a very comprehensive, very thorough, very powerful story in those 27 minutes. I liked the sound design. The sound design was beautiful. They also used the sound to build up the tension in that final act of the film when they have the argument. And finally, I like the educational angle of this film because they do talk about reproductive health and sexual health and things like that, and contraceptives and ways you can go about family planning and planning the number of kids you want to have. So the film did have an educational angle to it as well, which I really appreciated. Who should see it? Young men and women should see this film, and older men and women too, because the lessons in this film are really important. The importance of communication, the importance of financial and economic autonomy, the effects of financial and emotional abuse, the repercussions of cheating or the implications of cheating and infidelity. There's just so many lessons to be taken from this film. And what would have been ideal, I thought, right, while watching this film, would have been a situation where people can, young men and women, maybe single people, married people, can gather together, maybe in small numbers, right, and watch this film together and then talk about it thereafter. Because from those conversations, you'll be able to correct a lot of people's mindsets, because there are people in the world who think, particularly in countries like Nigeria, who think like Aliyu, who, don't feel like their wives should work or should have an income, and that their role is just to be at home taking care of the kids, and are just they're not inclusive in their thinking as it concerns their partner and their family. And also women too, you need to educate certain women on the importance of finding your voice, having your own money. And a question that came to my mind while watching this was, is it reasonable or even logical for a woman to entrust her economic future totally into the hands of her husband? Because lots of women, and even men, believe that once you get married, the woman is fully the man's responsibility. In traditional marriage settings, right, that's a common thought process. And while watching this, I was thinking to myself, should that be so? Even if he is a great man, if he's a good man and he wants to be a provider and a protector and all those things, should a woman still fully 100% trust her economic and financial future and a lot of her autonomy in the hands? Should she entrust those things into the hands of her husband? Yeah, that's a question that people really should ask themselves while they're single and before they get married, and even in marriage. Although in marriage could be a bit too late at that point. Anyway, let me rate this short film, which I thoroughly enjoyed, by the way. I'll give it 4.5 jollofs over 5, which is a very high rating. I mean, there wasn't anything I didn't like about it. I wish it was even longer. The acting was great. Storytelling was fantastic. Cinematography was beautiful. And I just can't fault this short film. And I'm looking forward to the remaining 2 short films from Zikoko. Guys, if you enjoyed this review, please do me a favor and like this video by clicking on the like button, and subscribe to my channel as well by clicking on the black subscribe button. On this channel, I don't just do Nollywood movie reviews. Sometimes I talk about other things. So check out some of the other things I've been doing. You can click the card in the corner of the screen. Recently, I've been doing a lot of content around the new web-based series here on YouTube called The Wives, which kind of has a similar theme to this film. It's about, women's economic empowerment and, just how men treat women and vice versa. So I think you should check that out if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.